firstly, I'll say that I certainly, on many occasions, have resorted to insults and to attacks against people who have, I feel, have demeaned me or promote policies or ideas that demean me and people like me or other people. And I have done that, and I'm sure I will do that in the future. And I'm not saying that I am sort of above doing that, but I think I've always regretted it. And I think I've always regretted it both because I feel ultimately that it's usually wrong and because it doesn't work. And I think that those are the two kind of reasons I would give against it. I think that your position against particularly dehumanizing language that tries to belittle, demean, and remove the dignity of other people, that bothers me. It bothers me whoever is doing it to whom and for whatever reason. I have to say, I mean, just being totally honest, it bothers me less when Dan Savage does that thing with the name Santorum that he's done, than it does when Santorum sort of refers to gay sex in the same breath as bestiality and stuff like that. That bothers me less because I think the power dynamic there is such that we generally recognize that the powerful are going to take and should be able to receive more stringent criticism than people who are less powerful. And I think that there might be something to explore there. But in general, yeah, I think I agree with you. We should try, if we possibly can, to make our case in a powerful and compelling and effective way without othering or dehumanizing or demeaning other people. And I really would push the idea, separate to the whole ethical questions that are raised when you start dehumanizing other people, that it doesn't work. It doesn't function to convince. I mean, there are some people that you won't persuade, and you shouldn't bother spending time trying to persuade the people who you're not going to persuade. But I don't think it serves a very valuable purpose to dehumanize them or demean them either. I think that you will eventually reach more people and be more convincing overall if you can take the position that you are respecting them as individuals even though you deeply abhor their ideas and their practices. And it's really difficult to do. I mean, as I say, I've failed my own test on this many times, and I will again. But I think it's important to try. And I think that one of the things you said in framing the question, I'm not a big scholar of Nietzsche. I haven't read him a lot of what he's written. I haven't read any of him for a long time. But I do like what I heard about the idea of the sort of process of creating new values and new opportunities and new possibilities for people. And I do believe, just in my experience, that the gay rights movement, the sort of queer liberation movement, has done that for many people. And I constantly hold on to the idea that when oppressed groups find a way to assert their freedom and to gain the power to be who they really are and to be proud of that, that also liberates the oppressors. And that's, I really see that the struggle is to really try and save people who are oppressing me as well. That sounds very abstract, but what I really mean is the fact that, for example, the extraordinary misogyny in society and sexism makes certain traits seem to be undesirable to men, like basically dressing well or being able to dance or something like that. That is seen in many quarters to feminize men and is therefore undesirable, right? Because by doing that, they may be seen as feminine and therefore gay. When the gay rights movement achieves certain level of respect and parity, that opens up the possibilities of action for straight men too. They can start dressing in different ways. They can start acting in different ways. They can take up dance, and they won't be worried that it somehow demolishes their masculinity. Their lives are concretely improved in terms of the range of expressions that they have open to them that won't be sanctioned by society, because my life has been concretely improved. And I think that idea, I just always love it just when I see, well, for two reasons, but I love it when I see straight guys dancing with their shirts off in gay bars with their girlfriend, because I rarely see that in straight bars, right? But I feel like, well, they found a new form of sexual expression that may not be open to them in other places, and they found it because of people like me, and I feel good about that. So ultimately, I see that the process is to liberate society, and that includes everyone in it. And so I don't really want to, in the process of that, demean and dehumanize other people, because I think it's contrary to my end, which is not really just to make a society in which all queer people are equal, but to make a society in which everyone is equal in that sense. So I kind of, on those sorts of grounds, I think I broadly agree. But I wouldn't strongly condemn people who do that in the course of their activism, particularly from a position of extraordinary weakness. Like I don't think I would say I don't think you should do that. I wouldn't do that. I would try not to do that in your situation. Maybe I would say that, but I don't think I would make a big point of it, because I think that the challenge is you don't want to seem like you're criticizing their expression more than you're criticizing the system of oppression that's put them in a position that makes them feel like that's a necessity. So
Mhm.
yeah, I guess that's what I feel about